Hello everyone. The topic for today is fossilization, and the members of the group are Edison Giguin, Soraya Loza, and Josue Mina. And we are going to talk about what is fossilization. Fossilization in interlanguage refers to the persistence of incorrect or non-native linguistic features in the learner's language, even after extensive exposure to the target language. It's like when mistakes become fossilized or fixes a learner's speech and writing, despite ongoing learning efforts. In addition, fossilization is naturally related to interlanguage, so it is a fundamental phenomenon of all second language acquisition, and not just for adult learners, but for young too. Later on, understand the concept of fossilization, we need to identify the causes. Causes of fossilization, we have two kinds of factors that affecting fossilization. The internal factor, we have the age, is when the learner reach a critical age over 12 years old and their brain loses plasticity, with the result that central linguistic features cannot be mastered. Another factor is social and psychological factors. Learners make no effort to adapt target language, cultural norms, and the result is that the interlanguage is not a target language level. And in external factor, we have the communicative pressure. It occurs when the learner feels the pressure to communicate the ideas that require the use of the language. And we have the lack of learning opportunity because refers the lack of the opportunity that receiving input and producing input. In other words, there is not a chance to use the language as in a daily life. And the last is the natural feedback on the learners.
Types of fossilization. We have 5 types of fossilization. It's phonological fossilization, morphological fossilization, syntactic fossilization, semantic fossilization, and pragmatic fossilization. Phonological fossilization. It refers to the permanent retention of incorrect pronunciation habits by language learners, despite continuing exposure to the correct pronunciation. For example, when the students pronounce th as s in words like think or this, or for example, when a Mandarin speaker's pronunciation of word as word. Morphological fossilization. It occurs when language learners are unable to acquire consciously the use of certain grammatical morphemes of word forms. For example, students say childs instead of children, or when the students use the ground article such as saying the book instead of a book. Syntactic fossilization. This happens when language learners are unable to acquire or consciously use certain sentence structures of syntactic rules. For example, when the student said, "You like pizza?" instead of "Do you like pizza?" or when the student said, "Car red" instead of "red car." Semantic fossilization. It refers to the inability of language learners to expand or refine their understanding of word meaning, leading to persist errors in word usage. For example, when a learner uses the word excited to express any positive emotion, or when learning using embarrassed to describe a pregnant woman. Pragmatic fossilization. This occurs when language learners fail to develop an appropriate pragmatic skills such as using language appropriately in different social contexts. For example, when the students using overly formal language in a casual conversation, or when the learners failing to recognize appropriate topics for small talk in social.
In simple words, how you're going to teach and how you're going to learn is in our hands, because sometimes teachers has a lot of errors, and then they are going to teach us in the same manner. So it's because of that we must learn outside the classroom and through real conversations, because that kind of big mistakes maybe influence in our lives in the wrong way. That's my point of view about fossilization, because fossilization is how we're going to teach in the future, and in the future our students is going to learn in the same way. But if you're gonna be prepared for the challenges in the future. Fossilization is not occur in our classes or into the classroom. Fossilization is a big problem nowadays because we are not native speakers and we make a lot of mistakes.
Thank you.
Thank you.